The Leave Your Legacy podcast is supported by Wise Financial. Wise Financial is a Northwestern Mutual private client group member. For over 20 years, Wise Financial has dedicated its efforts to designing comprehensive wealth management strategies for business owners and many accomplished athletes. Through their efforts, Wise Financial has been recognized as an industry-leading firm. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hello and welcome to the Leave Your Legacy podcast. I'm the host, Kenyon Murray, and today we're going to do a little bit of an update podcast on my boys, Kris and Keegan Murray. Kris obviously had a phenomenal year for the Iowa Hawkeyes, going to the NCAA tournament, came up a little bit short on what they wanted to do, but as far as his development and doing some different things, coming back, playing for the first time without Keegan, I think Kris had an unbelievable season. And like I said, an update. Keegan Murray has now broken the single season record for three-pointers made by a rookie. And everyone's asked me, did you think he could do that? I was like, I didn't even know what the three-point record was going into it. But to see him do that on the team that he's doing, it's just been, I can't tell you, it's been a phenomenal year for us, for Sacramento Kings. They're going to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, the longest playoff drought. So this year has been a great year for the Murray boys. Hopefully, as they get into the playoffs, Keegan will continue to add to that total. They're hoping that they will definitely host the first round. So I think they have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. But once again, a phenomenal year by Keegan. And for Kris, coming back to Iowa was a big decision. We didn't know if going through the NBA draft process was something that he was going to stay in the draft. Was he going to go first round? Was he going to go second round? But he wanted to come back to school. He wanted the opportunity to play his game, to show the world that he was a good player. And all he did was help the team to 19 wins, make the NCAA tournament. He was also a unanimous first-team All-Big Ten player. He became a consensus All-American player. And to be able to do that on the heels of what Keegan did last year, obviously being same thing, first-team All-American consensus and first-team All-Big Ten, I think it says a lot about Kris. But one of the things that's really come up as you see their success, I've had so many people ask me, what did we do as parents to help them get to this point? Was it something that we forced them into the gym? Obviously, I coached them. I've been coaching them since, they could pick up a basketball and walk. But it wasn't really us. It wasn't Michelle and I that helped them get to this point, in a sense. Now, we wanted them to have balance. And my wife, for those who don't know, she played high school basketball, she golfed, she played volleyball, she played softball. She was a four-sport athlete in high school, and then she went on to college to golf. Myself, I specialized. I was a basketball player. That's all I did. And so we wanted to make sure that they were balanced. And so growing up, they played basketball, they played soccer, they played flag football, they golfed in high school. They did a lot of different things. And the one thing you can't instill in your child, I believe, is the passion and the love of the process. And that's what I tell parents. Playing the game is such a minimal point, or I put it this way, you spend more time going through the process as opposed to playing. So what do I mean by that? You spend hours in the weight room. You spend hours in the gym working on ball handling and shooting and footwork and those kind of things. You have to love being in the gym in order to put yourself in a position where you can go out on the floor and produce. Now, for us, when the boys were growing up, we'd spend weekends playing baseball. I mean, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, all weekend in the hot sun. We would get home and all Michelle and I would want to do is just sit back, relax, maybe have an adult beverage and kind of chill out. And Kris and Keegan always ask, Dad, can we go to the gym? Can we go to the gym? And I couldn't say no because they wanted to do it, but they were just so driven to get better. And probably around their 7th grade year, they made the decision to specifically focus on basketball. And at that point in time, they were probably better baseball players. Kris was a great center fielder. Keegan was a great pitcher, first baseman. Both being left-handed, they did a really good job, but they wanted to be the best at basketball. And so what we would do is we go in, and I always said, hey, if we go to the gym, give me 45 minutes. 45 minutes of constructive work. Let's work on our footwork, our ball handling, our shooting form, those kind of things. And then after 45 minutes, you could do whatever you wanted to do. And we would be in the gym probably about an hour and a half, because after I got done with them, they would play one-on-one. They'd have shooting drills or shooting competitions, and they would just keep going and going. And the crazy thing about Kris and Keegan is, up until this year, every workout that they did with each other, it consisted of the same things that we started doing when they were in 4th grade. The same warm-up routine when it comes to their ball handling, the same footwork drills, the same shooting drills, how many shots they were getting up. They always had that preparedness going into the gym, like this is the things that they were going to do. And it's funny because I thought that maybe they change it up, but I think one of the things that makes them so good at what they do is the fact that they know what works, they've seen what works, and they continue to do that. It's very simple. It's not glamorous. Most of the time it's about footwork and just repetition. And sometimes being repetitive can get kind of boring, but the fact that they wanted to be great, they stuck to the process that got them there. Now, one of the things that was toughest for me as a dad was being able to let go. Like I said, I coached them all the way through high school. And one of the toughest things was to let them go and be coached by someone else. So we know about their journey. They went to prep school in Florida. They had an unbelievable coach down there, and Coach Wissam Al-Sous. And Coach really helped them from the neck up. He helped them understand what they needed to do from a day-to-day standpoint, how you practice, how you lead. Do you lead with your actions? Do you lead with your voice? Coach really helped them, and they had a team that was very talented, but it needed some leadership, and Kris and Keegan really stepped up for that. And then you fast forward to Iowa, and Coach Billy Taylor, who's now the head coach at Elon, he recruited the boys to Iowa, and Billy was a great bridge from Coach West to the University of Iowa and then playing under Coach Fran. And so they've had good teachers, and as you look to this year, I think Mike Brown has done a phenomenal job, not only with Keegan, but with the entire team. And so sometimes as a parent, when we're parent coaches and we're helping our kids through that journey, it's really hard to let go, because you really feel like you're the best person to help them make those jumps, right? You're the best person to help them make those strides. But I think the way that we show the support that we need to show as parents is we allow others to coach them. We don't undermine what the coaches say. We don't talk bad about the coach when we're at home. And those are the things that Michelle and I made sure that we did. We didn't want to have our kids looking to us in the stands when it came to what the coaches were telling them on the floor. Now, today, do we talk basketball? A little, but now our roles have changed. I'm no longer their coach, I'm their dad. And so for us, the different chapters that they've been at in their life has also dictated that we parent differently. And so those are the things that I think I would always tell a parent is allow your children's passion to grow. They have to fall in love with the process. You can't live through them. You can't choose what they want to do. I think if you let it happen organically, then that's where your kids are going to be the happiest. That's where they're going to put the time and energy in to be the best at that. And as a parent, is it tough? Absolutely. The hardest thing to do is to sit back and even when they fail, like not step in. And then when they succeed, the boys are when they're having a great year, the hardest thing for me to do probably is not to dwell on that, because at both levels, especially the NBA, there's another game. You can have great success one game and then not score the next game. And Keegan has had those, or where hasn't scored and he has 30 in the next game. You look at Kris, where he was putting up phenomenal numbers, but then towards the end of the year, he had some games where he didn't play to the level that he had played with the entire season. But it's in those moments that, as a parent, you support, you help pick them up, and then you remind them of what got them to that point. Because sometimes when our children are failing, it's only failing in their mind. I think that our biggest job then is to make sure our kids understand that all the hard work that you've put into it has gotten you here. And it can be athletics, it can be academics, it can be the arts, whether it's acting or music. When your kids have put their heart and soul into something, it is our job as parents to continue to remind them that they are great at what they do because of the time that they put into it. And becoming great is a process. And being great is sometimes lonely. So one of the toughest things too is to make sure that you have the right people around your kids to help them grow. Sometimes when you are singularly focused on something, everybody doesn't understand it. And that is in your family, that's your friends. So sometimes being great is a lonely place to be. But if you have the right people around them that can continue to support them, continue to encourage them, and continue to give them the tools that they need to maintain that success and even go higher, then that's what they need. And we have had a great support system. Jordan Montgomery Companies is one of our biggest supporters. David Nurse has done a phenomenal job with our boys as far as their mental makeup, the strength, being able to focus on things, being able to block out the noise has been phenomenal. And then they've also had great coaches that have poured into them, whether it's Billy Taylor or Fran McCaffrey or Coach West. You have to surround your kids with people that are going to help lift them up. And when they fall, catch them and continue to give them the tools and the encouragement that they need to be successful. So if there's anything that I can say about the success that Kris and Keegan have seen this year, and I think they will see for years to come, is be the support system that they need, put the right people around them, continue to talk with them and be open with them. Transparency is some of the greatest things. So when they fail or they're not doing the right things, you tell them. And when they're doing the right things, you tell them. And so for us as parents, it's been a phenomenal ride for us. Obviously, I don't want to leave out our older son, Demetrius Harper, who joined our family when he was 17, and to see what he's been able to do, not only as an athlete, but now receiving his master's degree. He's been appointed the wide receiver coach at Iowa City West, so we're very happy for him there. Their little boy, Bryson, he and Maddie, they have a gorgeous little boy named Bryson. So to see Demetrius thriving on and off the field has been phenomenal for Michelle and I. But once again, it's about supporting him in the areas that he needed, and he's been able to take that and thrive. And then McKenna, she's made the decision. Most people think she's going to play college sports. Well, she's made the decision that she's not going to play after high school. She's going to concentrate on her academics. And I'm telling you, that little girl, I wouldn't say little, she'd be mad if I said that, but that young woman is definitely going to destroy whatever challenges are brought in front of her. She's a great student, and I think she's going into medicine, but who knows, that might change tomorrow. But whatever she decides to do is going to be great. And, behind all of this, myself and the kids is my lovely wife, Michelle. We'll be celebrating 24 years of marriage this year, and she's been the rock for us. And she has done a very good job with all of us. She's helped all of us grow. She's helped all of us tap into the potential that we have. And for me especially, she's been a rock. For me, she's allowed me to pursue the things that I want to pursue. And she's also one that's very transparent. And when I'm not in the right, she tells me. But we all need that accountability. So thank you for joining us today. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this podcast or watch this podcast. And I'm Kenyon Murray, the host of the Leave Your Legacy podcast. Until next time. This podcast is sponsored by Storyline Multimedia. Storyline is an Iowa City-based media company that specializes in creating high-quality video, photo, and audio productions for local businesses. Not only that, but they also produce a number of podcasts, including this one. So if you're interested in sharing the story of your business with the world, contact them today by visiting StorylineMultimedia.com. And remember, your story matters.